Well, good morning, guys. Welcome back to another trading session. It is Friday today, so the last day of the week. I hope you had a great week. Yesterday's price action, um, yesterday's price action was a mess, honestly. Um, yeah, we didn't catch anything, and the markets started to run as soon as we closed the stream. So unfortunately, the stream also got no audio. There was some kind of a technical issue here with OBS and my microphone. That's why I had no audio during the stream. But yeah, I hope everything is working today. And if you see anything not working, just give me a heads up, and I will try to fix it. So yeah, yesterday it was a kind of a tricky day. 9:30 opened and stayed inside of a range until 11 a.m. And then eventually at 11 a.m. we started to do some kind of a run. If you look at the price action from from yesterday's trading session, you can see that it was some kind of an AMD, some power of three, where you had the accumulation here in Asia. Then eventually London did the manipulation, and we had a distribution right at the end of New York AM, until until the beginning of New York PM. So New York PM was also a tricky session, as you can see here. We stayed inside of a range. We marked a new high, which is this one is the previous day high. So now what price did until now. So Asia, once again, arranged. London, I believe that is started the manipulation to the upside. And as soon as we opened at 8:30, price just came lower. We have a SMT with NQ as well, starting on the 15-minute has an SMT, the 1 hour has an SMT, the 4 hour as well. Just let me be sure about what I'm talking about. Yeah, it has an SMT, so a lot of SMTs here with NQ. But yeah, price started to retrace. It retraced back down to a 1 hour for value gap, a bullish one on ES, as you can see here. This one right here, and we are now working our way or to the upside in a continuation form, or eventually a retrace, because we still have London lows, we still have Asia lows. So there's a lot of liquidity here, from those who tried to long the market before it opened. So there's a lot of liquidity here that might be eventually purged. Um, so yeah, we still have some minutes before the open. I guess this is the news open. We had some news as well. So this is, let me just mark this one. This is some kind of a data high. So data high, data low was already taken. So this one shall be here. And I will mark the 9:30 open as well. So 9:30 open just happened. Yeah, there we go. So I will stretch it here until 11. And yeah, price is now displacing to the downside, retesting that 1 hour bullish for value gap. I will take this one to here as well. So this is the low of the actual 4-hour candle, and I will update it. Here on the upside, we have buy side liquidity as the 4-hour candle high, the actual 4-hour candle. So the main plan here, because we have news at 10 a.m. I will have to wait for the news event driver to be released and search for something inside the macro. I'm afraid I can be probably a little bit afraid that we might go for these London lows and these Asia lows right before 9:50 and 10:10. But if something like that happens and if price comes back comes down to London lows and eventually Asia lows before the macro, I will try to search some kind of a reverse to the upside, because this can be eventually a manipulation back to the downside. So at this point, I will just wait and see what price really wants to what price really wants to do. I guess the obvious one is London lows and Asia lows here. London lows and Asia lows is our next draw. But yeah, I will still have to wait because of the news. Let me just mark a projection here just to see where price can eventually go. Yeah, -2 standard deviation right at Asia lows, which is a big confluence, honestly. So it can eventually mark and give us a bit more confidence about our bias. But yeah, since we have 10 a.m. news, I will have to wait to see what price really wants to do after 10 a.m. It's kind of tricky to enter a position before news, because news can eventually spike price up and take our stop loss. Even even if we are right with the direction, we can get stopped out with the new news release, and that's kind of frustrating. I've been caught on a on situations like that many times already. So that's why I'm trying to avoid them. Just checking if everything is fine. It seems like it is. So we had 9:30 open. We are waiting for some kind of a first presented for value gap. We still don't have any. Price retesting the bottom of the 1 hour for value gap as well here, trying to stay below it. Notice how we are reaching for midnight open as well. So price is now back inside of this range here, which is kind of tricky. But I believe that we will eventually face New York, London and Asia lows as the next draw on liquidity. And if we really get there before the macro, I will eventually search for some kind of a retrace to the upside. Otherwise, if price stays here inside the 1 hour for value gap, I will eventually search for a short in between 9:50 to 10:10 to seek for London low and Asia low as well. Yeah. Meanwhile, on the on ES, we already took previous day high during London, which is always kind of suspicious whenever London takes a high of the day or a low of the day. Usually, London is the manipulation leg, so it can eventually confirm that uh, won't go um, much higher here. We still have an SMT with NQ as well, so it can give us confidence and some kind of confidence as well for our bearish bias. But yeah, we still have to wait here. No first presented for value gap yet. If you look at the 15-minute chart, you can see a lot of liquidity below the lows of London, Asia, and eventually the 3 p.m. low from yesterday's price action as well. So all this liquidity can be eventually taken during the during New York AM. Price still fighting the 1 hour per value gap. The midpoint got rejected here. Price tried to displace to the upside, but rejected the midpoint of the 1 hour for value gap. As you can see, price staying below. I mean the zero minus 0.5 standard deviation. So 8 minutes in, and price already stopped. It might probably be waiting for the 10 a.m. news here. So that's why I decided not to engage with price before these news. So this is the 4 hour candle low here. Price trying to get above the midpoint of the 1 hour for value gap here on ES. Retracing a bit. Still no first presented fair value gap. We'll mark this one here. There's a bearish order block here as well. So this big green candle is actually an order block here, just right above the midpoint. Let me just check the 3 minutes, just in case. Yeah, on a 3 minutes, you can see, or I would risk to say that we have some kind of a market maker buy model here, which is switching to a market maker sell model here, taking all this liquidity out. And you notice how price really did not reach the order block. It got rejected here at the 1 hour fair value gap midpoint and displaced to the downside. So I guess that the next target is London lows, as you can see here. And eventually the next one will be Asia lows. Kind of a shame that we have to wait for 10 a.m. news, honestly. I would probably have engaged here on a short position. So this one here right here is the first presented fair value gap. Took some time here for market to present us with the first presented. Let me, yeah, there we go. So this is the first presented fair value gap here. So far it is being respected, but not liking how price is really closing here, leaving some wicks behind. Whenever you have a fair value gap, which drives you out of some PD array, the next candles you should see them closing in a full manner, not closing like this. This eventually can work as an inversion if price at 10 comes lower, taking sell side liquidity here, and then starts to displace to the upside. It can eventually mark an inversion. Yeah, we will have to wait. We still have 16 minutes before it to happen, so no rush. See how price is taking some time here to process the first presented fair value gap. So whenever you have the intention of price coming out of or breaking through a fair value gap, a PD array, you want to see it. You want to see it doing it in a fast way, in a quick way, not coming back to previous PD arrays, fulfilling the second the second half of it. So so price managed to come inside of the 1 hour fair value gap once again, getting above the on the upper band of the first presented fair value gap. So the bearishness of this PD array is being ignored here. And we are getting soon inside a macro. We have 3 minutes. But even inside a macro, we will have to wait until 10. Since we have what we have University of Michigan sentiment. It usually don't it usually don't trigger much volatility in the market, but it might have it might trigger. So that's why I'm waiting for it. Price back inside if the 1 hour for value gap, testing the midpoint of it right now. So it might be here for some time. Probably until 10, and eventually showing its hand as soon as 10 hits. So that's why I'm expecting. Check the 3 minutes. So, and what about you guys? What is your bias for today? Kind of curious to see what you guys think as well. Price really struggling to get out of this region with the hourly fair value gap, the first presented one as well. We have this order block right above. So we are already starting the macro hour. 9:50 just hit. So we will have until 10:10 to see what price will really form here. At 10 we will have a drive, a news driver. So if I was expecting something, I would like to see, for a upside move, I would like to see something like this. That would be perfect for an upside move. But for a bearish move, I would like to see price doing another run to the upside, eventually coming to 50% of this wick here and displacing lower and trying to reach for the 4-hour candle low and eventually for London lows and Asia lows as well. So that's what I'm expecting from price. That's why I'm trying to wait for it to show its hand. Nothing is clear to me right now. Yeah, the order block is acting as a resistance, as you can see here. The price really trying to get through it. As you can see here, we also have some kind of a breaker structure where price just made another high, but then broke down. So mm, this can eventually be a bearish breaker as well. So price is really testing these bearish BD arrays. They are located right at the top of the 1 hour for value gap as well. And right now price is kind of stuck here in between these bearish PD arrays and the first presented fair value gap. It might eventually come out of this range at 10, and then we will see what price really wants to do at 10, because right now we are still inside a macro, but nothing is clear. Price can eventually come down and go up. It's a 50% chance, and we don't want to engage in those types of situation, honestly. Let me just check the OT levels as well. Yeah, 50% is right at the order block and the breaker. It is permissible for price to come to 0.62, which would be outside of these bearish PD arrays, but it can eventually be permissible, especially if price just wicks above it. So this is the 50% of the wick. 50% of the wick. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, but price so far made through these bearish PD arrays, eventually came and closed above them. But now we are facing 9:30 open. We have 8:30 open here, right at the top. Remember that on the 15-minute, on the 1 hour, and the 4 hour are giving us some kind of SMTs in between ES and NQ. So we have to keep that in mind as well. So at this point, we have 2 minutes before the news event. So price will eventually tell us where it wants to go as soon as we hit 10. On the 4 hour candle is now a doji. So we have a small body and a presentation of wicks on both sides. So it's always tricky to play dojis because usually there is no direction, and price can eventually go to the upside but retrace back, go to the downside and retrace back. Yeah, that's kind of tricky. Price stopped right at 9:30 open. Still have 50% of this wick to be eventually tested. But at this point, I would like to see some kind of displacement to the downside if we want to reach for London and Asia lows. There we go. Displacement to the downside with 10 a.m. news. Displacement to the downside with 10 a.m. news. So now let's see if this is just a purge of liquidity and we go higher, or if we maintain this intention and seek for lower prices. Let me just see if if this candle purged the lows on NQ. It doesn't. It didn't. It didn't purge the low of this 4-hour candle. Price really came down hard, but it retraced 50% of it, stayed above the first presented fair value gap, and is now trying to get above once again. So let's see if this fair value gap, the bearish one, the breaker, and the order block will be kind of inverted, or if it will be respected. This wick here also marks the data lows, which can eventually be a drawn liquidity. Data lows or data highs usually are filled. Let me just check here the 3-minute, what can we see here? The 5-minute. Yeah, on the I was looking at the hourly, the candle, the last candle's low has not been taken. So this is the low of the last 1-hour candle on ES. It has not been taken, and the same on NQ. So it's kind of hard to trust the move to the upside when there's no liquidity purge here. I can eventually take this projection here out. Yeah, tricky tricky price action once again here in the morning. Price not able to get above 930, reacting to the downside once again. Back to the first presented fair value gap here. I'm just watching the 15-minute here. This can eventually be some kind of a BPR where we can call it a balanced price range, since we have a leg to the upside, a leg to the downside, a retest of this imbalance here. But it's not convincing me, honestly. And meanwhile, price reacting once again at the first presented fair value gap. Notice how this macro is kind of empty. The only thing that is looking good right now is this displacement to the upside. But as I was telling you, there was no significant purge of liquidity here to get me uh, comfortable longing this. So if I would have to long anything here until buy side liquidity, I had to have a massive stop, which is not enticing, honestly. Even if I would wait for price to come here. Yeah, but I'm not comfortable taking longs here, honestly. Especially when price is is kind of distorting. As you can see here, there's some kind of a box where there's liquidity here. There's some resting here as well. So yeah, I will have to wait for price to take one of that liquidity, because I can see a lot of players trying to sell this, but at the same time a lot of players buying this. So they're putting their stops right above this high and right below these lows, um, which can which for the algorithm can eventually do something like this, taking both sides and then eventually do something. But yeah, meanwhile we are what we call the no man's land. Uh, it's the algorithm's land right now, not traders' land. Price is still stuck in between the first presented fair value gap and the breaker. Yeah, it seems like we will have another New York AM session as a barcode. This macro um, was completely empty. The only thing that I can see here is bearish structures being respected. This fair value gap here, yeah, I can say it is being respected as well. I can see liquidity here. So the only projection that I can do is price will eventually take out the low of this 4 hour candle. Um, but I'm not sure if it will continue to the downside. I would like to believe that we will take London lows, but yeah, there's no entry here that I can take profit of. Price trying to dig lower here. Bearish PD array is being respected. Order block and the breaker. 930 open being rejected. The 1 hour fair value gap not acting as a trampoline here. So yeah, I believe that we are inclined to go lower, but that this structure is not enticing. Still stuck in between. Still stuck in between the bearish and the first presented for value gap PD arrays. It's kind of frustrating. The last 3 days has been barcoding, and as soon as I closed the charts, honestly, yeah, yesterday was kind of, I know I don't know. I thought that the algorithm was looking at what I was doing, since I closed the stream right here, and 2 minutes after we just displaced to the upside and started a run that was that lasted for a couple of hours. So yeah, it's like a toxic relationship when you just when you just leave your stuff here, and when you when you come back and watch the things that you left, they're completely out of hand, you know. well, once again, a boring market with a barcode action. This is really the third day on New York session. But sometimes we have phases like this, you know. Sometimes the run just starts right before New York AM and just finishes right before lunch hour. Um, and and you eventually have no chance to get in as well. So if you have no chance to get in here, don't don't get frustrated. So at this point, the macro just just ended. So this was an empty macro. The only thing that we got here was this displacement to the downside, which was in the news driver. I left a big wick here, but price seems like it retested already 50% of the wick. Just let me check it. Yeah, precisely. So 50% of this wick has been retested. Same on NQ. So this might be an indication that price has no need to go lower, but I still would like to see it go lower. Just if it has no bearish intention, I just would like to see it go lower to take um the previous 4 hour candle low. But it might not give us. It might not give us. So guys, have you taken any trades yet? Are you just tape reading price action? What are you doing? I will create a pool here just to have you already take have you already take any trades? So at this point, price just closed above the breaker. It is trying to disrespect this order block here as well. So at this point, on the 4 hour, we can see that um, it worked in a bearish wick the first couple of minutes and then retraced back up. So it can eventually give us that power of three where it opens lower, but it will close higher. But for that to happen, we start to see bullish PD arrays being respected. We have one here. This small fair value gap here. We still have the breaker, which now is some type of a support on price. 930 can actually be or can actually work as a support on price as well. So let's see. So this was the bearish value gap that initiated the run lower. I will mark this one because this one can be the biggest resistance here. I believe that if we go above it, and if we can eventually retrace back to it, we will retest buy side liquidity, because all of this is kind of a low resistance liquidity. A lot of stops were played here, were stopped here, were placed right above these highs. If price not willing to get above this fair value gap here, no strength to do it on the first hit. Let's see if we get another hit. Let's see if price will retest it once again. So far, this breaker is acting as support. Yeah, starting to like this type of price action here, but I would like to see a push higher. Assuming that push higher would eventually assume the bullishness. Otherwise, we can still get dragged down here back inside the range. And if that happens, yeah, we might eventually see something like this, and that's not what I'm looking for. At this point, I would like to see something like this coming down, taking out eventually this liquidity, coming back, and boom, to the upside. Price starting to react here as well. So this high is taken. We are reaching 50% of this wick as well. Here we had 930 acting as support too. Price coming out of a bullish fair value gap, supporting on the first presented, inverting the breaker, the bearish one, trying to invert this one as well. Yeah, meanwhile NQ is not doing the same. NQ is still below this high here. Yeah, once again, coming back to the range. It took out these lows here. So if price really wants to get to buy side liquidity, it will start to grind higher. Otherwise, we took this high here. And if price really starts to invert bearish PD, bullish PD arrays and respect bearishness, then I will expect sell side liquidity. So this is some kind of inversion here. Bearish PD arrays got respected once again. Price was not able to close above the order block, but we are back inside the first presented fair value gap and back inside the barcode. Yeah, this is just like I was telling you guys, when price was already somewhere here, price could eventually take these highs as well, and then eventually do what it wants to do. So at this point, those who put their stops right here, trying to short, trying to buy, yeah, they were kind of finished. So the ones left to punish are those who are longing this market. So since I don't want to be part of neither, I still have to wait. Yeah, price stopped right at the at the first presented fair value gap. Let me just check this action in the 3 minutes. On the 5. Yeah, it's a hard read, honestly. Let me just go for the 2 minute. It's a hard read. Back inside the range, as you can see. So yeah, there's not much we can do. Kind of curious to see if the first presented will be respected or not. I don't think so. I think that we will try to get for um those buy stops. I mean those hell stops. Those stops, whatever you want to call them. And eventually lower to New York, to London lows and Asia lows. Bearish PD arrays got respected. The breaker. Um, Here we have a BPR on a 1 minute, so price is not needed to retrace back above to this fair value gap here, this bearish one. But yeah, as I told you, whenever price is trying to exit from a PD array, I would like to see candles fully closed, not leaving wicks behind, just like we did here, here, here. I want to see full close. Otherwise, it can only be enticing some short sellers, and I don't want to be enticed like that. Yeah, price really inside a box here, as you can see. We can narrow it a bit. But yeah, this is just like a no man's land, right? Uh, Price can eventually do whatever it wants whenever we are inside some type of price action like that, some type of box like that. So yeah, it would be nice to see, since Asia consolidate here, London manipulated the price to the upside. I really would like to see lower prices, but it's kind of hard when price is balancing all of this. It might be balancing this leg here from London's price action, taking out sell side liquidity here, and then move to the upside once again. Right now we are playing outside the bullish fair value gap on the 1 hour and trying to get below the first presented. As you can see here, a lot of wicks trying to do a lot of damage. Not the best conditions to engage with the market. But yeah, unfortunately, we got a boring morning once again. This is the third day in a row the price is like that. Especially on ES, and Q is heading way lower here. It already took the sell side here, but meanwhile ES is just, yeah, it's just doing its own thing. So it's kind of a symmetry in between those two indices. Rejecting once again here. Let me just check the daily. It's kind of a mess, but yeah, we took previous day high. And as soon as we take previous day high, the next would be 50% of the wick of the previous day, which would, just let me check here, 5885, 5885. Yeah, it would be way lower than I expect. Yeah, it would be here eventually. Yeah, but price is really progressing lower here in a slow way. A An order block was formed here. Price It's really testing the 4-hour candle low on ES. And Q already took London lows. Might go for Asia lows next. Price getting below midnight open as well. So this one was a clean rejection of price on the first presented for value gap. So now let's see what the ES really wants to do, if it wants to dig lower or if we start some kind of a inversion. Yeah, we are almost reaching London lows here. Yeah, so far the read was quite good. The read was honestly quite good. I'm expecting lower, maybe to Asia lows. And I would like to see some kind of a retracement just to give us some kind of an opportunity to engage with the market. But since the draw is so near, it might not give us that entry. Yeah, there we go. It's displacing. So at this point, London lows are taken. We still have some Asia lows to be taken. And now let's see if price just came right down here just to punish, and we'll do a reverse now, or if it might go and continue to the downside. This was a big displacement to the upside. Yeah, notice how price quickly reacted as soon as we took London lows. Not leaving much space to, not much room to, and time to think. Yeah, and Q really took a dive. 120 handles, while ES did 19. Kind of a big difference here. But yeah, let's see if what price really wants to do as soon as we get inside this fair value gap. It is now coming above midnight open. Notice how this liquidity void is being pierced. Let me just check in Q and see how it is behaving, if it is inverting something or not. Yeah, it's trying to invert bearish PD arrays. It is right at the order block here already. Yes, as well. We are approaching the macro too. So we are inside the next macro, which is the last one for me. So macro to 1050 to 1110. Yeah, it seems like we will have some kind of reversal here. On the 15-minute, I can see a lot of stops here. And price is really digging to the upside. It should have stopped if this was just some kind of a retrace. Yeah, it's reaching the 50% of this down leg. So if we invert this or the block here, I might consider higher prices. Let me just check here that projection that we made in the first minutes of the stream. Yeah, it took us almost to 2.5 standard deviation. On the 2 and 1 minutes, what do we have? 3 minutes. What do we have? Yeah, it seems like a BPR here. There's no need for price to come back down below. Really would like to see price coming above this order block here. It would give us some kind of a breaker structure. The breaker would be our first presented fair value gap. Um, Something like this. And then we would attack everything that is here. So this is what I'm expecting. So let's see if we get filled here. If price runs without taking this limit order, then we just have to accept it. Yeah, meanwhile, I didn't get the order filled for 75, right? And my order is at 50, so 0 0.25. Let's see if we get it filled. So when we got filled here, now let's see how price will develop. So price came back right to inversion. This inverted fair value gap here. Now I would like to see it push back above. I'll just mark this, push it to the right here. So at this point, I would like to see the first presented fair value gap to hold, to hold as support. We still have a breaker structure here as well. This should help us hold price action. And since we are inside a macro, we probably will have some fuel making things a bit easier for longs. So 830, 830 should be a resistance as well. And I'll take out this breaker here. Makes no sense being here. So yeah, this region here should act as resistance. So far, a nice reaction from the first presented fair value gap and the inversion of this one here. As soon as we take this high, I will probably put my stops to break even, or eventually trimmer some risk. And at this point, we are at the 11-hour time window, which is the last macro before lunch hour. Price is retesting the inversion of this bearish bullish for value gap here. So it's stuck here at the midpoint. Price coming back down here. I don't like how price just reacted the midpoint of this hourly for value gap. Just let me see on this leg here where we are. Where are we? Yeah, this was too clean of a retrace here. I really didn't like how price closed here, and we already took the high of the 15-minute. Let's see if price can stretch a little bit more to the upside here. At this point, I don't want to see it go below this candle. So I will just minimize my risk and see if it returns back. I will be break even. If not, that would be okay. So nice displacement here. Now we have to hold this displacement the midpoint should act as support. If price really can't hold this displacement, it's a bad sign for longs. Oh, I didn't notice that P Trades was talking with me. Yeah, I had the sensation that I had a feeling that it would reverse on me. That's why I put the the stop loss. I will eventually take partials as soon as we reach the inversion for value gap here, or eventually at 8:30. But I'm not sure if we will at this point. Market is kind of, yeah. I'm not seeing NQ doing the same. We have an SMT in between NQ and ES. See, yeah, the equal lows on Asia. Yeah, I noticed them, and I thought that we were heading here as soon as we dropped below London. I thought that Asia would be next. So I guess I eventually will be stopped out here. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, kind of a big market today, honestly. But I had no choice to put my stop at break even, honestly, since price is, you know, zigzagging, and I don't like how price is presenting itself, honestly. I guess the idea was fine because we had a breaker structure here, um, price inverted, this one as well. Yeah, but it's kind of it's kind of a boring market action. I still believe that price will go here. We still have a lot of liquidity, a lot of sellers from this leg down. Um, but yeah, it got stopped out at break even. There's nothing I can do about it. Yeah, and the PD arrays are not being respected as they should. Um, they are suffering deep retraces. Um, yeah, it's not a clean run. It's like a high resistance. It might run now since I got stopped out. But yeah, I will not chase it. Not worth it. Not worth to chase a price action like this. Just let me see. Just let me rewind here just to see. Yeah, I had my stop below midnight open as well. So yeah, but it was a tricky situation as soon as I saw that the midpoint of the 1 hour for value gap was being so cleanly rejected. I got a bit scared about price reverting on me and go for Asia lows that I risked to put my stop at break even. Yeah, but I'm content with what I with my read of price. I honestly expected when price was inside of this consolidation box here, I kind of expected something like this, and it did really, and it honestly did. Um, I was watching if price would continue lower to Asia low, but yeah, it didn't. And as soon as I saw price retracing quickly to the upside, disrespecting the order block here, this one, and eventually forming a breaker as well, yeah, I decided to take the long. But I was convinced that it should not be a clean long, uh, like those who just run. But yeah, yeah. The main idea was, thank God it's Friday. The main idea was looking for Asia low. This was the initial idea to um, to take out these highs and eventually displace to the downside and take out London low and Asia low. But as soon as I saw price starting to time distort, this is like time distortion, right? I believe that both sides would be punished. Yeah, and yeah, we start to punish the short sellers. Then um, the yeah, the short sellers, and then the long buyers here. Um, yeah, but as you can see, price is not fast and quick enough. I like when price is uh, when price does those quick runs to the upside. Let me check the NQ. Are you talking about the 1 minute? Ah, yeah, I see now. Yeah, yeah, we had consolidation between 9:30 and 10:30. Okay, and then manipulation to the downside, and we will probably, yeah, expand to the upside because there's a lot of stops right above that for value gap. The Let me just check here. Precisely the 9:30 fair value gap. I I can see that on any queue. I really can't see that happening. Yeah, it was something like yesterday's price action. If you look here, but stretched to another time frame. Yeah, you can see Asia here consolidating, London manipulating to the downside. Usually, London is always the manipulation leg, and then you had this mess on in between in between New York AM. But as soon as New York AM just ended, we shot to the upside. Yeah, it was I closed my stream right here, I believe. Yeah, just some minutes before 11. And as soon as I saw that I closed my stream, the price just did a massive run. And today's action, I was expecting something like that as well. So accumulation here or consolidation in between Asia, manipulation to the upside during London, a bit more extended, and eventually a distribution to the downside, taking out at least Asia highs, Asia lows, and these lows here. But yeah, prices is not clean enough, and now I believe that we will eventually just go a little bit more to the upside, eventually taking out these guys that are short here, and then eventually we will see a move lower. But yeah, not quite a clean day of price action, honestly. Yeah, yeah, I can see that this trade would cost me a lot of mental capital, honestly. we are I would have been 20 minutes inside a trade and praying for it not to come back to break even. There is no run here. So you do trade NQ, right? He trades LQ. Well, I started maybe 2022. Yeah, that's 2022 was the model that I started with, and then I was grabbing some other things and other concepts from ICT. Um, but yeah, 2022, in between 2022 and 2023, those were the times that I spent more time studying ICT and his concepts. And yeah, and I've been practicing since then, and now I'm trying to get funded and put everything into work. But my trading history is a bit older. I've been trying to trade and trying to be profitable with those concepts, those retail concepts, but never reach profitability with those. So yeah, then suddenly I came um, I encountered ICT on Twitter and started to read his concepts, started to watch his videos as well. And yeah, I consumed a lot of ICT videos back in the day, but now I don't watch them anymore. I think I have enough concepts, um, but it's always because whenever you have a lot of concepts and you mix a lot of them, you have to have a stable and a very objective framework. And if you don't and you just throw concepts inside of it, then it will be a big mess. Yeah, I heard some later strategies like Venom and like I don't know, but I'm not on Twitter anymore. Um, my account got suspended permanently, and I don't know, even know why. Um, but yeah, I had a Twitter account there for I don't know 10 years. I mean, Yeah, my Twitter account was a 10-year-old account, and it got suspended for no apparent reason. Twitter does not justify itself. So, oh, is it? I didn't know. Yeah, I heard about the Venom model, but if you're telling me that the model that I'm using here is the Venom model, I thought it was the unicorn because yeah, because we had the breaker, we had the for valley gap here. After the sell side liquidity purge, yeah, I thought I was using the unicorn or something like that. Yeah, you're talking about the end walls and the end dogs. Um, I mostly use the end walk, and as you can see here, where is it? Yeah, it's here. I have event horizon here, but yeah, I have the presence of the end walks in mind, but don't really use them. They are just a frame for price. If if I know that price is in between or stuck in between end walks, that would definitely be a messy day. But if price is I don't know, exiting from event arising or jumping out of a end wall, oh okay, now I see that we will probably have an expansion day. Just to frame it, just I just use it as a frame, not not I don't have any strategy dealing with precisely with end walks. So liquidity run, balance price range, then price trades back. Oh, I see. Okay. Okay, the concept is the same, but the elements are different. Okay, so he uses the BPR after the sell side purge, and it's a combination of a BPR plus an inversion for a value gap, right? Okay, I see. I see. Well, yeah, the concept, the full concept, the entire concept is the same as the unicorn, but the elements are are a bit different. But yeah, it's at some point, and looking back to ICT, he has about 30 years of it, so he knows how to see different concepts, different strategies, different things, and I don't think that we are not. I'm talking about me. I'm not in that in that high stakes, in those high stakes. Um, he's on another level, and I think that we are still. I believe I'm still learning. I will be learning for quite a long time still. Yeah, the end walk and the end dog. The end dog can be. I can be annoyed by using the end dog because the end dog whenever you have a consolidation, you will have plenty of end dogs right stacked, uh, uh, one above another or one below another one, and yeah, it's it's kind of messy for me because I cannot understand where price wants to go, but since we only have one end walk each week. I can see those being used better as a frame, as an idea where price wants to go, better than the end dogs. Yeah, it's a lifelong learning. Yeah, I'm sure about it. I'm sure about it, and it's a lifelong learning because markets are evolving every time as well. So what what today works or what today is presented, it might not be presented tomorrow. So that's why That's why I usually say that we are always learning. The curve will be to infinity, and so I think that ICT himself is still learning. He talks about his imprecision in the exits. I don't think those exits are imprecise, but he keeps talking about it, and yeah, I think there's a level. There's an impossible level. Yeah, and we won't never be precise to the point that we know that price will reach that exactly point. Yeah, it's not possible. I think. Oh, you just use the current end dog. Okay, that's clever. Yeah, never say never. Yeah. Yeah, but I'm content with the type of read that we are able to do with his concepts. I I'm pretty content about today's price action because I know there's a lot of people that has been caught here in this movement, um, and tried to short here and whatever, and I avoided all that stuff by just reading price and yeah, his concepts really helped me a lot. Now I'm just I'm just trying to get to the next stage and try to get profitable with it. But yeah, I'm here every day. I'm trying to live stream every day using the same concepts. It can have they can have a slightly variation. Sometimes I use the breaker, sometimes I use the order block, sometimes I use the fair value gap or the inverted one, but the main concept is always the same. So what I'm always looking for is some type of action in between 950 to 1010, a formation or something like that, or a liquidity purge in between those time windows. Um, and yeah, and then I will wait for the model to print, and that's it. Yeah, that's great. That's great to have like-minded guys and guys at the same stage, you know. Yeah, I mean, profitability. Yeah, profitability. It's always hard to reach. I guess it's always hard to get to those levels because the mental state of it, um, the mental thing is quite hard to evolve. I think it's the hardest part. You know, it's way easier to get into a total situation than to miss a trade or to miss a concept. Uh, yeah, it is only the mental thing. Yeah, it is. It is because the concepts are quite easy. You know, um, you don't you don't have to be a genius to understand the concepts. I think the hardest part inside his concepts is the fractality that you have always to have in mind. You have always to look at the bigger picture and then frame the setup inside that bigger picture, and that's the hardest part. Um, but the other technical things are quite easy. You don't have to have a degree or some or you have to be some kind of a genius to understand his concepts. No, you just have to be familiar with his language, um, and then you just have to study. And most of all, you just have to tape read and watch price print. Yeah, yeah. I guess once you see it, you will never unsee it, right? Yeah, the daily bias is is a simple is a simple concept, I guess. Sometimes it's hard to frame to frame a bias. I won't lie. But as soon as you get the daily bias, you just have to mix a bit of his concepts. I like to use the AMD or power of three, whatever you want to call it, to frame the daily bias as well. But yeah, as soon as you get it, it will be every day will be easier. Yeah, you frame the plan in the day. Okay, okay. Yeah, I'm from Portugal, and 9:30 in New York time is 2:30 p.m. in here in Portugal. So I try to frame my analysis in between noon. I mean, so at noon I know 2 hours prior. I know I have an idea about what price wants to do in between 9:30 and 11. So you're from Austria. Yeah, I can see here on the plugin that I installed here. Yeah, we have almost the same time frame, not time frame. Um, yeah, I'm lost now. Yeah, we just are 1 hour away. Yeah, yeah, time. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and in between, I don't know, 11:30 in the morning and noon, I usually try to frame my plan. I'm sorry. Yeah, and meanwhile, price just shot to the upside, right? It waited for me to get stopped out, but well, it came once again to the first presented fair value gap. But yeah, this is what I don't like in price, uh, and it has done it many times in the last weeks. I usually don't trade after 11. Um, Sometimes if I see something clear, I might do it, but I don't like to trade after 11. And price has done its runs uh, right past 11, right? And so I tried here today, and I was conscious about entering the 11-hour time frame, but yeah, I didn't expect a run at starting at 11:20. Yeah, 11:20. So that's kind of odd. And prices has done it many times in the last weeks. I would like to see how price will react first here, just like these these highs here. Um, Looking at the 15 minute, we are approaching, especially on Nasdaq, we are approaching an order block, and I would like to see how price will react here. I'm not sure about buy side liquidity. It would be interesting to see an SMT left behind on NQ and ES on the higher time frames. Um, but if we if we start to displace here, inverting bullish PD arrays, yeah, probably we won't go for buy side liquidity. But at this point, and using another concept here, we have the sell side curve, and we will probably see the buy side curve. So we had the manipulation here. Yeah, it might be possible, but I would like to see price not spending much time here. Just, okay, just go through it and do something like this. Because this is, all of this is low resistance, right? So it should be quick as soon as we get above this one here, this fair value gap. Yeah. Yeah, you don't think so? Yeah, I was more inclined for Asia lows. Honestly, I was more inclined for Asia lows since the beginning of the stream. Um, but yeah, we might go. But I really want to see if we spend a lot of time here and then start to invert these PD arrays here, the bullish ones. Yeah, then we might go lower. And if I do something like this, if I just shouldn't be this type of price action logical. So here you have the accumulation or the consolidation. Here you have the manipulation, which we now can see that it was really a manipulation. Price didn't stop on the run to the downside. Um, and whenever we have a big red candle as the last one, yeah, and then it being engulfed right away, and then this is pure manipulation. So logically, we should wait for expansion to occur, or distribution, the new leg of distribution. This is what I saw when price was coming right back into the range, and that this is what I was expecting. It was a shame that I triggered my stop too soon to the upside, but yeah, but honestly, I was not expecting this type of price action to happen. But this would be logical eventually. I will not participate in it, honestly, because that way I would be broken, breaking my rules. Um, but yeah, this is what I'm expecting, honestly. And if you look at the on yeah, on NQ, you can see as well. If you look at the at NQ, it's like a staircase to the downside. And whenever price does some kind of a staircase to the downside, when price does something like this, it creates a lot of stops here, which can eventually be broken quite quickly. This is what I was framing here with the entry. So it was unfortunate that I got stopped out. At this point, I would have eventually, when we entered here, this area, I would have taken my first partial or eventually closed the full position. I don't know with how many contracts I was in. Seven, I think, 7 micros. Yeah, I would probably left one contract to reach for buy side liquidity. But yeah, looking at Q, there's no low resistance. Yeah, under 1 minute. Yeah, you might be right. You might be right. But all I can see now is the AMD, honestly. All I can frame now is the AMD. And I'm kind of unsure about what price wants to do here. But yeah, I can see it running s- straight away, taking all this liquidity out here. Oh well. Well, it was a nice stream. Had to wait a lot before taking any action, but and then I took the action and got stopped out. But it is what it is, honestly. We just have to keep in mind that the market is an ocean, and usually in the ocean there's plenty of fish. If we don't catch anything today, we will probably catch something tomorrow. So this is the main this is the main lesson from today's price action. Was kind of afraid and probably kind of greedy, taking the stop right at break even when there was nothing here that could eventually frighten me. The only thing that I didn't like here was why why this candle here once again after a displacement. Um, but yeah, it is what it is. I think Monday will be better. Um, we just have to wait for it. And yeah. Oh, I usually don't use Discord. Yeah, I'm on Twitter. I'm not on Twitter as well. I'm just live streaming on YouTube and Twitch. And yeah, I will post some short formats on Instagram and TikTok as well. But um my main socials right now are YouTube and Twitch as well. So I don't use Discord. I'm not. I can't say I don't use a Discord. I have a Discord account, but I'm not actually active. I lurk in some Discord channels. Oh, you have the MMXM Discord. Yeah, his concepts are quite refined. Yeah, the problem with those Discord with this with that with those Discord channels, it's is there are a lot of people, a lot of beginners, a lot of young boys trying to get rich quickly, and yeah, it's quite annoying answering the same questions all day, and yeah. Yeah, AM trades. Yeah, I know those names from Twitter. I know those. yeah, there's no shortcut at all. You will pay just to get some refined concepts, which are for free on YouTube, on ICT's channel. So yeah, well, I think I will end the stream here. Um, Thank you for being here. Thank you for the talk. Hope to see you Monday. I will be here as well. Well, I'm just starting here on Twitch, so it's kind of new for me. Um, oh, maybe Tuesday for you. Okay, okay. So have a nice weekend and stay safe. And hope to see you Tuesday. Thank you. For those watching on YouTube, thank you very much as well. Hope to see you next Monday. And yeah, it's a wrap, I think. Have a nice weekend and thank you very much. See you Monday.